lot to cover here, so let's get started right away. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Insomniac Games finally revealed the first gameplay for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which releases this fall for PS5. It starts with Kraven killing a dude and venturing to Queens, New York, with his hunters. 6 months later, he and his crew are tracking Dr. Kurt Connors in his lizard form. Fortunately, he's being protected by Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Unfortunately, Peter has the symbiote, which grants some sick new powers, like tendrils for slamming multiple enemies. He also faces new enemies, like robotic dogs and birds, before the perspective shifts to Miles. The latter can glide with his suit, and we can get a peek at some new stealth gameplay. Miles can create zip lines with his webs, and his Venom Blast skills have also evolved. As for Peter's reason for pursuing Connors, it seems Harry Osborn is dying and he needs him. A grand chase across the Hudson River occurs as Miles takes out Kraven's cronies on jet skis. While the action briefly switches to Peter, it returns to Miles, who must avoid being eaten by the lizard. By the end of the gameplay reveal, Miles begins to pick up on Peter acting differently. Of course, a release date hasn't been revealed, but Marvel Spider-Man 2 is confirmed for fall of 2023 on the PS5. Alan Wake 2. Announced at the close of 2021, Alan Wake 2 is a game that's been on many minds for a while, and with Remedy Entertainment preparing to enter the space with a long-awaited sequel to Alan Wake, it's no surprise that players are more than a little excited. At the recent PlayStation showcase, Alan Wake 2 made an appearance with a trailer to debut its gameplay. Though not a particularly beefy one, the trailer does offer some glimpses of its combat, while showcasing what looks to be a new playable character. Hints are also dropped for what the survival horror sequel's story will have in store. While true to form for Remedy, from a visuals perspective, the game makes a strong impression. A release date for the title has also been confirmed. True to recent reports alleging an October release, Alan Wake 2 will launch on October 17th for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. GHOSTRUNNER 2. During the PlayStation showcase, developer One More Level has announced a sequel to its action platforming game Ghostrunner. Appropriately titled Ghostrunner 2, the upcoming game was announced alongside a trailer. The trailer shows off a fair bit of gameplay, including the addition of what looks like vehicle segments in the game's already fast-paced gameplay. Ghostrunner 2 was originally announced back in 2021, and more recently saw the release of quite a bit of concept art. The developer revealed back then that Ghostrunner 2 is slated to be a much more ambitious title than the original. Ghostrunner was originally released back in 2020 and essentially defined the concept of a low-profile sleeper hit. The game saw quite a bit of success, both critically and commercially. The original Ghostrunner eventually shipped more than 1.5 million copies. Ghostrunner 2 doesn't have a release date aside from a 2023 release window. Metal Gear Solid Delta: Snake Eater. After what seems like an eternity of rumors, Konami finally announced its remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It revealed a cinematic trailer of a bird flying across a swamp and being caught by a snake. Not that snake, but an actual snake. Of course, Naked Snake, the future big boss, is revealed in all of his camouflaged glory. Along with new screens, it was confirmed that it's a multi-platform release. In addition to the remake, another rumor was confirmed. The original versions of Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater are being re-released this autumn. These will comprise Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, implying the other volumes are in development. Phantom Blade Zero. It's always exciting to see announcements for new games in established franchises, but nothing quite beats the intrigue of a completely new IP with a fresh idea. At the PlayStation Showcase, developer S-Game took the spotlight to show off precisely that. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming action RPG that will combine its dark and fantasy aesthetic with a setting feature steampunk elements, with a combat system that'll focus on martial arts and fast, frantic attacks. The game's announcement trailer is quite a lengthy one, and offers plenty of glimpses at its world and characters, while also showing off quite a bit of the combat, boasting enemies of all shapes and sizes and a variety of weapons. Meanwhile, outside of combat, it seems to be putting quite a bit of emphasis on quick, parkour-based movement and traversal abilities. Phantom Blade Zero has been announced for PS5 and PC. CONCORD. Developer Firewalk Studios has unveiled its new game at the PlayStation Showcase titled CONCORD. The game has a release window of 2024 and was introduced with a short teaser trailer. While we didn't get to see any gameplay for CONCORD, the studio's game director Ryan Ellis took to the PlayStation blog to give us a heads up about what we can expect. According to the blog post, CONCORD will be a PvP multiplayer first-person shooter and will be coming to both the PS5 as well as PC. Ellis has also stated that CONCORD will feature a whole universe of vibrant worlds, as well as a rich cast of colorful characters. PlayStation had announced a partnership with Firewalk Studios for a multiplayer title back in 2021. Back in April, PlayStation had announced that it is acquiring the independent studio. The studio is meant to be another step in Sony's expansion of live service games, alongside fellow Sony-owned studios Bungie and Haven. Back in 2022, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan spoke about the company's lofty ambitions in releasing live service titles, stating that the company plans on releasing at least 10 live service games by March of 2026. HELLDIVERS 2. Sony has been talking up its plans to expand into the live service space for a while now, and we're finally beginning to see what that will entail. One of the earliest games announced by the company at its PlayStation Showcase was HELLDIVERS 2. Arrowhead Game Studios' multiplayer shooter has been popping up in rumors for some time now, having been first mentioned a couple of years back in the infamous Nvidia leak. While the original HELLDIVERS, which launched back in 2015, was a top-down shooter, its upcoming sequel will bring about quite a radical change in gameplay and instead deliver a third-person shooter experience. HELLDIVERS 2 is due out sometime later this year, though it hasn't yet been given a specific release date. It'll launch simultaneously for PS5 and PC. Fair Games. Haven Studios has revealed its first game published by PlayStation. It's called Fair Games and appears to be a heist game with PvEVP elements for PS5 and PC. It begins with 3 players venturing into a secure facility with grappling hooks. Upon breaching the depths and using shields to fold the security lasers, they seemingly encounter another trio attempting to infiltrate the vault. Along with using a grappling hook to grab a piece of the environment as a shield, they also shoot rounds that can disrupt enemies. Upon venturing into the vault, another 3-player squad seemingly arrives. Fair Games appears to be the live service title exclusive to PS5 that Haven had previously confirmed. Nothing else is known, though the "See you soon" message at the end could potentially hint at a beta coming shortly. PlayStation Handheld Project Q. The recent PlayStation Showcase featured plenty of updates and announcements for upcoming games, but it wasn't all about the software. New PlayStation hardware was announced as well. It wasn't too long ago that we got reports of a new streaming PlayStation handheld being in the works, and Sony has now officially confirmed all of those details. An official name for the device hasn't been announced yet, with Sony only confirming its internal codename, Project Q. Project Q is a streaming-only device that will be able to stream your PS5 games via remote play over Wi-Fi. It'll feature an 8-inch HD screen and will also come with all of the buttons and features that are found on the PS5's DualSense. Meanwhile, Sony has also unveiled new official PlayStation Bluetooth earbuds. Compatible with PS5 and PC, they will offer lossless audio. Further details on both of these accessories haven't been revealed, so we don't know what their price or release date is, or even their official names, but Sony says more information will follow in the coming months. Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6's online multiplayer offerings will be the lifeblood of the fighter for years following its release, and sure enough, the game is looking well stocked on that front. At the same time, the developer is also making some exciting promises where the game's single-player story mode offerings are concerned. At the recent PlayStation Showcase, Capcom took the opportunity to offer players another look at World Tour mode. The mode will allow players to freely traverse a number of semi-open world environments, playing as a custom-created character. Your ultimate goal will be to seek out masters and learn new fighting techniques from them. And while there will, of course, be plenty of fighting to dive into, players will also be able to dive into a number of side activities, mini-games, RPG-style progression mechanics, and more. That's all for now. If you enjoy what you saw, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, now is a great time to subscribe. We upload brand new videos every single day. After subscribing, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time, right here on GamingBolt.